Theodore Roosevelt once said, "The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best, if he wins, knows the thrills of high achievement, and if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat." I salute you.
Please join me in welcoming Moritz Lauener.
Hello, good day, and welcome to the arena. Although I have 3 decades of experience in the surveying technology industry, believe me when I say I'm not a veteran of such large stages. As I was searching for guidance leading up to this event, my 3 or 4 teenage children advised me to have a chat with ChatGPT. A little bit reluctant, I tried to have an intelligent conversation with this intelligent language model. I asked the bot whether it can help me, and at the beginning it went quite well and said, "Yes, sure, of course I can help you." And I said, "Yeah, look, it's about innovation in services, it needs to be inspiring, and of course I need to look good." And then the bot troubled me. He told me, "Moritz, that's too difficult for me. I shall go and talk to Siri." I was speechless, and I asked whether he can't do any better. And then the bot got quite cheeky and snippy and told me, "What do you expect for free? I shall go and upgrade." Couldn't take it anymore, and I complained about this lousy, lousy service. And then the bot surprised me. He told me, "Moritz, if you really want to learn about service, you better talk to your surveyors." In all seriousness, here is what the AI chatbot said. Surveyors need to provide good service to ensure accuracy, reliability, quality, client satisfaction, and a superior professional reputation, which is a statement I 100% agree with. And it's a good lead-in to the central message of my keynote, which I would like to convey to you. Namely that, like all businesses who want to grow, surveyors must innovate. And I talk about innovation, which is more than just investing in new technology. Because accurate sensors and intelligent software just become parts and ingredients of your business. What you add is innovation at the level of service. Surveyors are in the service business, whether they like it or not. Surveying firms have service at the very core of their business model. And what you focus on is selling your expertise. And while surveyors are proud professionals who know the value of their expertise, the open question is, how do they transform this expertise into superior service? Theodore Roosevelt said, "Credit belongs to those in the arena whose faces are marred with dust and sweat and blood, and who know great enthusiasms and devotions, and spend themselves in a worthy cause." It's part of a longer quote, as we've heard in the entry, and it's about showing up, rolling up your sleeves, and get your hands dirty. It's about being of service, and to me, ultimately, this is about being a surveyor. Surveyors wear a lot of hats. We identify as adventurers, explorers, pioneers, following the traditions of Lewis and Clark, Daniel Boone, and Theodore Roosevelt. But surveyors also like precision and accuracy. They want to feel the number. They need to be in control. For us, one measurement is no measurement. And even more, what you cannot measure does not exist. Surveyors are also data lovers, technology enthusiasts. We love geospatial data. And surveyors, of course, are business professionals. They understand the importance of healthy profits. They can calculate costs, and they can compute returns on investments. However, ladies and gentlemen, passion for technology is not enough. Business acumen is not enough. Rigorous QA and QC procedures is not enough. Being a good surveyor, ultimately, is not good enough. Because at the core, a surveyor's mission is service. Is it so hard to believe that service is or should be at the core of your business? Let's learn more about this from the source. Doug Browning is the Senior Survey Project Manager at Walsh Construction and Archer Western, with almost 10 years of experience in construction. He has a unique perspective on what the construction industry requires when it comes to surveying services. We were fortunate to have him share his insider insights with us.
I think a couple of challenges that surveyors would be faced on heavy civil construction sites. One would be the safety standards required on the job site level. Sometimes that can be pretty strenuous with the amount of PPE that we require for everybody, not just our employees, but anybody that steps foot on our job site. The heavy civil highway type projects presents a set of challenges that are unique to the industry, just like everything else. So I would take the experience. I would take the experience of having a surveyor group A that has worked on a construction site and kind of knows the ins and out of working on a construction site, opposed to surveyor B that really has focused on different industries within the surveying industry itself. The key for me for delivering outstanding service would be communication. I want my outside subcontractor surveyor, I want him to be part of the team. I want him and his group to be part of the daily meetings, to be part of the scheduled meetings, because surveying is such an integral part of everything we do on a construction site. It starts and ends typically with surveying, whether we're laying it out or as building it. It's critical to be able to communicate. For me and my group, we try to utilize digital data as much as possible. We are working off a 3D model, and it would be great if they could work off the same model, again, where everything's apples to apples when we're doing layout. Everything's consistent. So I'm lucky enough on most of the transportation jobs that we have here in South Carolina are design build. So we're working a lot more closely with the design team. So we have good relationships where I can get CAD files and digital data. Having a subcontractor being able to utilize digital data, whether it be from receiving design files or even the deliverables, what you're trying to close this job out, and you're trying to get what you said, what we agreed upon, so I can move on to the next job. Sometimes decisions are made on the data that we as surveyors are collecting in the field, and those decisions are made real time. And so sometimes the old school ways or processes that have worked in the past might not be what we need to do now. So just having an open mindedness of processes and how you get that data back to the GC. Attention to detail is critical in our industry. It can make or break your job site or whatever you're trying to build. So having that skill for the details and really having the experience knowing the constructability of the plans, because everything is so, plans are black and white and on paper, and sometimes there's a constructability aspect to everything we're building out here. So you combine those two, and I really think it all comes back to the skill of attention to details. The areas where I see subcontractors struggle is adapting to these schedules. Again, things change on a moment's notice. Being flexible and available is a skill that is critical in our line of work, because we spend a lot of time and effort planning out what we're going to do in the next 24, 48, 1 week, 2 months. We spend a lot of time planning out our work, but sometimes things happen, and before you come out of that meeting, plans change, and you have to be able to adapt. Specifically as surveyors, you have to be able to adapt from what we just spent 30 minutes discussing, what you were going to do for the day. Now we got to regroup and get what it takes to make the project go forward, because in the end, that's what we need to do, is we're supporting, and the project's got to move forward.
Doug's experience clearly shows why service is essential. But what is the essence of a service? A service is intangible, which means that it only exists in the moment it is consumed. And as a consequence, the surveyor or the service provider is not in control of space and time. Rather, they must have the capacity to deliver services on demand, not knowing where, not knowing when. And this is one reality which we would like to help you manage with Hexagon GeoCloud. With Hexagon GeoCloud, our new web-based service offering portal, which is an augmentation to our hardware and software offerings.
We are proud to introduce Hexagon GeoCloud, powered by HxDR. HxDR is Hexagon's cloud-native platform for geospatial solutions at any scale. As a powerful collaboration portal, Hexagon GeoCloud will develop over time. It supports measurement professionals through a range of services. The first is GeoCloud Drive, a comprehensive cloud storage featuring easy data transfer and sync. Fully integrated into your field and office workflows, GeoCloud Drive enables seamless access to your data, wherever you are, whenever you need it. The journey of Hexagon GeoCloud will continue with hardware-based services. Together, Hexagon GeoCloud allows surveyors to offer their data and expertise outside the constraints of timing and location, helping to empower innovative services.
How are surveying services created? Service offerings are developed by creating a magic web of 3 things: people, technology, and processes. We at Hexagon want to be your supporter when you are weaving this magic web. And one way we do that is putting leading-edge technology right in your hands. Let's look at one example of this technology.
Our legacy is innovation. And this year, we celebrate 10 years of the Multi-Station, our world's first laser scanning, highest accuracy total station. We also shook up the surveying landscape when we released the GS18i, which allows you to measure using a tilted pole and from images, providing more ways to go from field to final data set. And last year, we introduced the AP20 Auto Pole, a game-changing innovation for surveyors. The AP20 improves the robotic total station workflow, enabling you to measure with a tilted pole, automatically record height readings, and always lock to your target. All this with full data traceability for quality assurance. Together, they demonstrate Hexagon's commitment to equipping you with the tools to make high-accuracy data collection flexible and easier, so you can focus on measuring more and putting your expertise to work.
We are always looking for ways to put technology into your hands, and we will innovate for you. But you also need to innovate. Let's get back to Theodore Roosevelt. He said, "Credit belongs to those in the arena who shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." By which he means that you can't sit at the sidelines and don't play. Like many of you, I was educated as an engineer. We were trained to analyze problems and to solve problems. We were trained to measure, but we were not trained to serve. And we were not trained to innovate. A good engineer is not automatically a good innovator. Innovation, however, is important and mission critical to success. Innovation is at the very hard core of the Leica development process. And I have spent all my professional life, nearly 30 years, in an innovation environment at Leica Geosystems. I can confidently speak about innovation at the level of hardware and software and bring up perspective from deep within a big innovation machine. And this innovation machine creates industry-disrupting technology, like the BLK 360 family, which continues to democratize reality capture with brand new perspectives. And this innovation, as announced yesterday, we are proudly adding 2 new elements to the reality capture repertoire. First, the just launched Reality Cloud Studio, powered by HxDR. It enables easy cloud collaboration, making reality capture data accessible for everyone. And available next year, the BLK2Go Pulse, a first-person scanner that rapidly captures point cloud from your point of view. Developing innovative hardware and software that are connected by powerful platform is one way we hope to prepare you for your place in the arena. But because surveying is a service industry, for you, innovation is the quest to unique service. And when it comes to this quest, you teach us, and we learn from you. We are committed at Hexagon to understand your needs and your aspirations. Through our work, we gain global industry domain know-how, and we are privileged to consult with experts worldwide who have mastered and succeeded at service-level innovation. And this puts us into a unique position at events like this to share these insights with you, or at least to give you one or the other impulse for success. Unless innovation becomes part of our culture, our businesses will stagnate and falter. The stony path to value creation is subject to constant and strong forces of erosion and change. Therefore, you must constantly and continually rethink and reconfigure the way you serve your clients. How you create this magic blend which makes you unique, which makes your services resilient, which adds the value, and which sets you apart from the crowd. I mentioned that it's really hard to scale services because your offers are highly dependent on your people, on their skills, on their expertise, honed by years of service. And this cannot be easily expanded. And this creates strong challenges for the innovator who wants to overcome those problems. So how do you deal with these difficulties in practice? For this, I would like to welcome Derek 20, a man who has successfully weathered periods of business uncertainty. A close look at his story illustrates that it is not enough to put money on the table and write a business plan. Innovation requires much more.
Meet Derek 20, Director of Geospatial Services at TWM. Derek has played a key role in unlocking the potential of 3D laser scanning technology and innovating reality capture services for exponential growth. He is part of the engineering and land surveying team at TWM, a firm that provides high-quality data to clients through innovative surveying solutions. Their reality capture story started with terrestrial laser scanning, using careful research, strategy, and investment in the right hardware and software. Since the success of this initial adoption, TWM has expanded to mobile and aerial mapping. They prioritize client education on working with point cloud data, leverage their reality capture investment to attract new talent, and grow into larger projects to ensure valuable services at scale. This combination of experience makes Derek the perfect source for learning how to dare greatly in surveying service innovation.
Please join me in welcoming Derek 20.
Derek, so good you are here with me.
Good to be here.
Thank you. You introduced that TWM reality capture at a time when it was by far not certain whether it succeeds or not. Can you tell a little bit how you dealt with the risks and the uncertainty, and perhaps what kind of critical success factors you came across?
Yeah, so I think the first hurdle that we had to get over was this mindset that risk is a bad thing. Unfortunately, success without some risk is nearly impossible. So I see a lot of firms, we see a lot of firms, including ourselves, that was trying to eliminate the risk. And you know, risk is a very beneficial part of innovation. A lot of times when we're talking about it, I'll use the analogy to fire. As long as it's well planned, calculated, it can be very beneficial. It's when it's not planned for that it can be devastating. So for us to help mitigate that risk, one of the things that we did was put together a business plan. We want to know what success looks like when we get there. For us, we weren't looking to just supplement the services that we currently offer. We were looking to get into new markets, offer new services, take those new services to new geographic locations. So we put together this business plan and we reviewed it often. We've modified it several times. And I joke that there was nothing wrong with the original business plan. We just learned about 1,000 different things that didn't work for us as we continued to review and modify that business plan. Probably the biggest factor to our success is we had to get over this mindset that because we invested, that was innovation, right? Waiting for that voice to say, if you buy it, they will come, right? Unfortunately, we never heard that. We really had to step back, listen to our clients, and actually find a way to integrate the technology into their workflow.
Obviously, technology played a major role in your innovation process. What advice can you give to companies here, to colleagues, when it comes to technology above and beyond having invested into the new technology?
So I think technology plays a couple roles. One, it can improve the current services, the services that we're currently offering. And then two, it provides new features to better serve your clients. And as surveyors, we're problem solvers. We're solving our clients' problems. And I feel like technology just provides another set of tools to do just that, solve your clients' problems. One of the things that we've seen an advantage in the technology is in capacity, being able to capture more data with less people. I'm sure it's something that we're all struggling with. We're starting to see as the price point comes down, smaller firms are able to invest in technology and even compete with larger firms, almost leveling the playing field where size isn't the factor, it's the service that you provide with the technology is the distinguishing factor. So I think overall, I would say it's essential that as a profession we continue to invest and adapt with new technology. The law of ecology is centered around this idea that for an organism to survive, it must grow at a greater or equal pace than its surrounding. And I think that is the same for your company and for this profession. In order for the profession to survive, we too must grow at an equal or greater pace than our surrounding.
So innovation is a matter of survival. I'm sure, Derek, the audience has heard you loudly and clearly. I thank you very much that you were with me.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks.
you. One new Hexagon technology helping businesses with limited workforce to scale their services is the new Leica Pegasus TRK 100. The TRK 100 helps solve the pressing capacity problems of many surveying firms. Yet, successfully innovating means not only understanding and solving the problems. That's what I meant before. A good engineer is not a good innovator, automatically. It's also about anticipating and looking into the future with optimism. Credit belongs to those in the arena who strive valiantly, who err, who come short again and again, because there is no effort without shortcoming. It takes courage to innovate. Because innovation requires taking risks, and it's riddled with uncertainty. How does the innovator deal with this? I speak now about the person who is accountable and which carries the heavy burden of responsibility for the relevance, timeliness, and quality of the service. This person is the man in the arena, in Theodore Roosevelt's quote. How does the innovator bear mentally this, what I call the dark side of innovation, and the related emotional exposure? Renowned author, professor, and researcher, Dr. Brené Brown, will tell us the answer. She has conducted hundreds of studies with thousands of interviews and data points. And you are not going to like the answer, because the answer is, have the courage to embrace vulnerability. No, hang on. What is Moritz talking about? How can he dare linking vulnerability with our hero, the surveyor, the adventurer, the explorer, the number cruncher, the control freak, the data lover, the tech enthusiast, and the business person. How can he dare linking vulnerability with the surveyor? Based on all her research, Dr. Brown would say, vulnerability is the absolute heartbeat of innovation and creativity. There can be zero innovation without vulnerability. Being vulnerable to the risk of failure opens up creativity and ignites the spark of innovation. But it takes courage, because sometimes you will fail. The key is to pick yourself up again and again, get rid of the dust, walk on, and get back here to the arena. And understand, you are not alone, because while navigating the murky waters of uncertainty can seem treacherous, there are strategies to cope with this. And there are people who can help you, like our next guest, Elaine Ball. Elaine is a geospatial marketer. She has helped many surveying service providers not only to innovate and hone their service offerings, but also to clearly communicate this value to their clients.
Elaine Ball is the creator and visionary behind Elaine Ball Limited. She's a geospatial marketer with a vision for success, and she's bringing her expertise to Hexagon Live. Elaine founded her business based on a love for geospatial innovation and marketing, alongside an entrepreneurial spirit inspired by her father. With over 20 years of experience working with technical companies across the globe, she brings a rare blend of expertise, enabling her to help geospatial businesses increase sales through best practice marketing. Dedicated to providing the foundation needed to excel, Elaine created the Geospatial Marketing Academy, the only training resource of its kind. She is also the founder of Get Kids Into Survey, a project that introduces and inspires interest in surveying. Extensive knowledge across sectors makes her the perfect sparring partner for geospatial companies and an excellent source for learning more about how surveyors can innovate their services.
Please join me in welcoming Elaine Ball.
Hello.
Good to see you, Elaine.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being with me. Elaine, you help surveying service providers, surveyors as I like to call them. You help them to put value on themselves, their brand, and to their offering.
Yeah.
And during that work, you can observe how they innovate. And can you tell us a little bit about the little traps and pitfalls where they fall in? And could you perhaps see one or the other element, how they overcome these challenges?
Absolutely. So the first thing is they have shiny object syndrome.
Ooh.
They're really excited about the latest tech that's coming out. You guys produce some awesome, amazing stuff. But unfortunately, said surveyor doesn't know what to do with the shiny object when they get it. And this is a big issue. There's no business strategy or plan behind it, like the market they're going to go into, who the buyers are going to go into. Then the next thing is FOMO, or fear of missing out. And what I mean by that is they see Josephine blogs down the road, and unfortunately, they copy Josephine blogs and what they're doing. We've got to do the same as what they're doing. That's what we're going to do. But unfortunately, then, this leads to the same thing that they're offering, which you guys as surveyors have all got your own unique value. And unfortunately, then that leads to price wars. And then, of course, that spirals out of control. So that is a big thing. Then, of course, they don't invest in themselves from a business and a marketing perspective, or even getting a mentor. These are really key because they're actually technicians out in the field, and they're not necessarily business people. So that is a big issue. And of course, one of the big things is they've got a massive impatience to actually see a return on investments. They might buy the latest Pegasus, and then they're like, oh, we need to get the money back straight away without giving it time to grow. That's one of the big things. So how do you actually overcome these issues? The first thing is know your audience. Who are you speaking to? Who is that buyer? You guys out there, they'll be like, oh, I wish I had more of that person. That's one of the things that you need to do. So then you can communicate to that audience what actually you can do, why they want to buy from you. That's a big thing. The other one is widening your perspective on where you can actually innovate. So actually, for example, I say to my customers, you need to niche down. I'm like, niche down? What is niche down? And it's actually focusing on something that you're really good at. So one of my customers, CSTI in New Mexico, they actually had this issue, and they had lots of things they were doing, they're land surveyors. But when I actually delved into their business, I found out all their unique things about subsurface mapping. It's like, aha, right, guys, you're going to focus on that, and this is what you're going to do. Now, they're known for subsurface mapping and survey related to that, so big bonus. And then, of course, the main thing is communicate your value. I'll say it several times, but communicate that main value.
Elaine, you are a service provider yourself. You are in the service business too. So let me ask a private, personal question. How do you deal yourself with the uncertainty and the loneliness as innovator, and how do you deal and cope with this emotional pressure?
Yeah, okay, so my dad's a hydrographer and a mine surveyor, and we had a business that manufactured equipment for dirty environments, really. But the business was quite a large business. We were very cash rich. We had very niche market. That was great. So when I started my startup, 10 years ago now, not a startup anymore, I went in with the same head. And unfortunately, cash bit me really bad. So one of the things I would suggest to everybody is get your cash management sorted out. That made me extremely vulnerable, and I realized, oh dear, I don't have this big company around me to actually cuddle me and go, you're okay. So that was a big thing, and it's like picking yourself up. And I'm very optimistic. I'm literally, the glass is always full. So, so definitely the people who know me will say that as well. So that's one of the big things. The next thing is scaling too quickly. So I've done it with Get Kids and Survey. We're like, yes, let's go, let's do it. So you're like heading off and doing stuff. And then suddenly you're like, oh God, actually we're spending loads of money here and I need to just retract a little bit. So I think, you know, I've learned that as well. And it's been said this week actually on the stages, you know, take your time, build on it. And that's one of the things I definitely advise. And then lastly, pivoting. And this is what the guys at CSTI did. They pivoted with their offering. So as soon as they become the experts and the masters in their field, they were like, yeah, okay, now we can go slightly to the right a little bit and add this service, so then bolting it on. So then it was a natural thing to do. So my 2 pennies worth to all you guys out here. Get out your bubble. Seek a mentor. Go find a mentor. Invest in you. And be great.
Elaine, thanks a lot. You gave a lot of value for your 2 pennies to the audience.
2 pennies, yep.
And I wish that some of your energy will ignite one or the other good idea in the audience. Thanks.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Let's get back to this idea of vulnerability. In our context, vulnerability means accepting and embracing the sheer fact that failure is a realistic business outcome. But vulnerability approached with optimism opens up great forces of innovation. And when I say optimism, I don't mean naive optimism. I talk about optimism which is solidly grounded in reality, in preparedness, in determination, in planning, in solid domain expertise. Credit belongs to those in the arena who at the best know the triumph of high achievement and who at worst at least fail while daring greatly. To realize the triumph of high achievement, you have to embrace vulnerability and risk failing. But it's worth it. The history of surveyors has always been intertwined with innovation. It's what we do. It's what you do. You, the surveyors, are the ones who truly are transforming the way the world works. You innovate to serve your clients. You serve society, and ultimately you serve this planet. And we at Hexagon, we are your willing and supportive partner on this adventure. We are here to back you with all our force, our tradition, our strengths, our experience, focus, and resilience. As partners, we can bravely face uncertainty together. As your partner, we can help you mitigate risks and support each other in our own vulnerabilities. As innovators together, we know with courage, we are willing to act where there is no guarantee of success. With courage, we invest, not knowing whether it pays out. We are courageous because there is no other option if we want to contribute to a better world. We are courageous because we believe in optimism and its power when it comes to innovation for a better future. And in slight variation of Theodore Roosevelt's quote, I would like to close this keynote and encourage you to join us with compassion in our mutual mission. Go out and dare greatly. Go out and serve greatly. I salute you.